Welcome back, everybody. This is Mog on Mog's Cast, playing some more Kerbal Space Program with you folks today. And as you can see, we are looking at a new ship, one which you haven't seen me fly before. I built this just over the last day or two, getting it all pieced together and working and tested. So we've got our standard launch stage. I should say this is a pretty standard design launch phase. It's a lot taller than our previous ones. This is to bring the rest of this craft up into orbit. This is our interplanetary stage here. It's got a little bit more boost to it, and our final stage is the core part of our mission. As you can see right in the center here, we've got a rover that's kind of placed in here inside all of this strutting and everything that should be interesting. I actually got to fix that one right there because it sticks, and then this little piece gets left over and just hangs in midair. It's really weird. Anyway, we're going to be launching this up to Bop to do some exploring and try to find that space Kraken. That's going to be the plan here. But I wanted to give you guys a quick look at it and just kind of show you what we're going to be dealing with. This is a manned rover. It has a seat up front and 2 seats in the back for other passengers, so 3 people total. It's got a couple of batteries here. It's got these landing legs on top that are kind of used to flip it back over in case anything bad happens, as well as being extended during driving, so that it actually provides kind of a bit of a roll cage for the rest of the machine. I mean, it's not an end-all for everything to save it from like every sort of roll, but a small roll that it could help protect some of the more vital components. You can also see that it's got a lot of RCS on here, as well as a small tank in the center. Now, the cool thing about this is this landing portion here actually is going to stick around. It's got some landing descent engines as well as a big RCS tank. Now, it also has a small docking node underneath here. That can be used to refuel this RCS tank on this rover in case we need to rejuice it with some extra RCS. I also wanted to show you who's going to be piloting today. We've got Captain Okabe. So there you go, Reynard. I hope you enjoy being a captain in this episode and flying our new rover out toward Bop. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and fix that one strut that I want to fix there, and we'll get this moving. I'll see you guys out on the launch pad. Okay, everybody, so we're out here on the launch pad. I've got my phase angle set up. For the most part, we should be able to get this thing up into orbit and pretty much get ready to burn right out toward Joule. So let's go ahead and get this mission underway. We're going to release our clamps and start moving. And you guys have seen me do this. I'm not going to put you through the pain of watching a launch and the travel out to Joule again for, I don't know, like how manyth time now. This will be like launch 4, 5, maybe 6. I have no idea. You guys watch launches all the time with me. I'm going to try to make this one more about the landing and the rover. So I'm going to come back to you guys as we get closer to Joule. Okay, I lied. Apparently it wanted to switch over to Bob being in the pilot seat when I came up for the first launch. So now we've got Captain Okabe back in the driver's seat, and we're going to go up again. Alright guys, we are here. We're about to enter into Joule's sphere of influence. We take a look at our actual incoming periaps. I've got it really low, and this was actually hit from pretty much Kerbal. I got this really close so that I wouldn't have to use too much fuel, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this interplanetary stage on here so that we can use it for getting into a captured orbit with Bop. Now, to do that, you may notice up here my delta V left in this tank, meters per second delta V, is 540. That's not enough to capture us if I don't use an aero brake, and it's not enough to get us out to Bop if once this aero brake is complete. So what I'm going to need to do is get captured by Joule and then refuel at our Jupiter station that I've actually got set up here now. This was the station that was launched during the episode 16 that, well, it was the equivalent of this station that I wanted to get up here, basically, when my game decided to die on me. So this is what I've replaced it with, and I'll show you guys that as we get in closer for a dock. Okay guys, so I've got my correction burn all done. I've kind of changed our trajectory a little bit. I've burnt a little bit north to hopefully align this a little more with the station orbit, which is pretty much at zeros around Joule. We're going to be a little off. I may have to funnel some fuel from our upper stage to our lower stage to possibly, or maybe just turn on the engines up here to get the rest of our ship here to an alignment orbit with the station. Now, I guess we'll wait and see how that happens. I may end up detaching a portion of the station that's actually the tank that I attached to the station. It has its own maneuvering thrusters and everything like that, so I think I might be able to actually move it to the to our ship that we currently have and refuel that way and then bring it back, maybe. We'll see. I've kind of got to figure that out, and then we'll get out to Bop. So I'm going to come back as we get in toward docking or figuring that whole thing out. Here we go, running through the atmosphere. Just wanted to give you a quick look, just so you can kind of see. But we're going to do it quickly, and it takes a little while to do. So I'm going to come back at you guys. Just wanted to let you know that we're running through there and doing our aero braking. Dropping down to a periaps of about 121.1 kilometers over the surface, and we'll see where that leaves us, huh? Well, we're back out of the atmosphere, and horizon. That put us way out there, out kind of actually toward Tylo. So we're going to have to do some correcting here, and I'm going to have to figure out how to do this. I think what I'm going to have to do is just skim the, push our periaps out to about 135, 134, and just slowly drop our periaps, or our apoaps in. So once we get to the point where we're pretty even with the station, I'll go ahead and push out the periaps, and we'll go from there. So we went down to about 134.2 roughly kilometers off the periaps, and it dropped us from around what is this, 64 million meters up. So 64,000 or 60. I want to say it was like 65,000 kilometers above the surface. Apoaps out here. So one skim about a kilometer or so into the atmosphere dropped us almost 20 kilometers, or 20,000 kilometers. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that again. I'm gonna push it out just a little bit more so it's not quite as close, and then we'll see if we can get this brought in safely and slowly. Okay, so I dropped us down to one engine active. I deactivated all the outside ones. I shut them all down. I pushed our periaps to 134.75 roughly, so we're skimming in even shallower this time, and we'll see what that does for us. Okay, we're rising back up again. That cut in there dropped our periaps about 0.05 kilometers, and it dropped us to 39.45 from 47.9 million meters up, right? Yeah, million meters. So that's how that worked out. I think I'm going to do one or two more of those passes, but I do need to push this up because every time we do that, it does lower our periaps just slightly. So it'll cause more and more. It'll just build like a cascading up. And that's not what we want. We want to do this controlled, with maintaining as little fuel use as possible to make this happen, because every ounce is gonna help here. Okay, back set up to about 135.75, so we'll make this run again and see where it leaves us. Okay, so that time it brought us down to 34.37. So we're going to make a couple more of these cuts, and actually, you know what? I'm just going to take care of it. I kind of just want to give you guys a feel for the process. I'm going to come back once we get all ready to dock into the station. Okay, guys. So I've got the orbits all set up. We are just short of, we have the inside loop basically on the station, so that we'll be catching up with it. Now, the problem with this is that we are very close already, which is good for making the final approach simple. It does make it take a little while, so I'll have to go a few orbits to catch up with the station, and then we'll just burn out to it basically, is how it's going to go down. Now, at this point, I'm pretty much going to call for recording for this afternoon. I'm not going to call the episode, obviously. You guys got a bunch of time left on here, I would imagine. I've just got a few things left to do, so I'm going to switch over to the station for now, show you what we're going to actually end up doing to get this refueling process finished. So you'll see the station for the first time. This is Jewel Station Jupiter. And okay, we've crashed, so I'll come back. Okay, we're back. Stupid crash. I don't know why that happens with Fraps sometimes. It's just like when I do loading with Fraps, currently recording, it kind of freaks out. It doesn't do it if I'm actually, like, if I shut off recording and switch stations. Anywho, this is Jupiter Station, guys. As you can see, it's a little larger than some of our other stations. It's got two of the cupola modules on the top and the bottom, and then 3 hitchhiker containers in here as well. So we've got Bill Kerman, Crash Kerman, Linsby Kerman, and Captain Shortall. You've made it back, buddy. I replaced you. I put you up in here after the file save loss. So there you go, Fun Gun. Let's see. Or no, was that you, Fun Gun? Was that Fun Gun? I'm pretty sure that was you, Fun Gun. Maybe I'm incorrect. If I am, I apologize to whoever's Kerbal that actually was. I'm pretty sure that's Fun Gun, though. Pretty sure. Anyway, so I've launched this up. I had the little docking ring. I've also launched up a small RCS-based tug with a single occupant here, as well as a power generation and some lights. It's a tug in the sense that it can tug anything with a standard clampetron, and it tugs it with RCS, so it can bring it in from a couple kilometers out without too much of an issue. It's got a decent amount of thrust to it for just RCS. And then this full orange tank is what we're going to be actually undocking from here, since we have to refuel the lander, the rover, the lander-rover combo, and the interplanetary stage. I don't have RCS set up on it and all balanced, so I pretty much have to detach this whole thing, and we're going to empty this thing anyway, refueling it. We're going to detach this and use it to rendezvous effectively once we get the station and the other part close, within a couple of kilometers. We'll pop over here, detach this node, or this drone-guided part, and dock with the other ship, refuel it, and then just basically leave this whole thing gone, because it's going to be empty, other than RCS. I might actually try to run it into the surface of Joule to get rid of it. On RCS thrusters alone, I might be able to pull it off. It'll be pretty light, so maybe we'll do that just to get rid of it, and I'll bring up a different fuel tank to refuel this, or to attach a new refueler to this. So, I've also, while I've got everybody here kind of watching, out here, I've actually popped a drone refueler out to BOP too. It's another one of those, effectively, that you just saw that I was going to use to refuel out here in orbit around BOP. It's basically just a passive refueling station. It just hangs out until somebody nearby needs it, and then it can be used to refuel. I was actually planning to get out to BOP with this, with our rover ship, and just refuel here, because I knew I'd need it for landing, but I've used too much fuel. I have to use the refueler that's at the station if I want to do this the way I'm hoping I can. Anyway, yeah, we'll come back and we'll get out toward BOP. Okay, guys, so I've got the fuel tank detached, and I pretty much finished it almost, the burn that I was going for to get here with the RCS thrusters on this thing, and then I ran out of electricity. And I totally forgot that this unit doesn't have anything to do that with, to generate it with. So this is dead in the water currently, but on the plus side, we're about 4 kilometers away when we hit our second rendezvous point. So what I need to do at this point is switch over to our, the science rover that we have, and I'm going to use that to maneuver into this instead of the other way around. So, wish me luck, guys. Okay, guys, so we're coming in here. We're about 1.5 minutes away from our rendezvous, so let me see if I can find it here. Looks like it's down there at about 10 kilometers out. So we're going to pretty much watch this thing until we get closer to the 4 kilometer mark, and then we're going to even out our relative velocities. As you can see here on the nav ball, we're currently about 111, almost 112 meters per second difference in speed to one another. So we even that out so that we stop, you know, moving away from each other, and then I pretty much will burn toward it, zero out our velocity again, and then attempt to go in for a docking on one of these 2 nodes on the outside of this. Without RCS balancers and without translation, this is going to be a bitch. So, let's see if we can pull it off, huh? Okay, guys, we're coming in pretty fast here. Well, not, I mean, our relative velocity is fine, but this is coming up on our need to do our docking procedure rather quickly here. Now, doing a docking procedure with engines and no translation is a pain. It is very difficult and not something easily done. Now, because of this, and because like the problems we've run into, I'm looking at the recording time thus far, and it's like a total of almost 15 minutes now. I might have to call this episode as we get docked in here, or maybe as we get down to the surface with our lander and rover, and actually just kind of do our roving mission next time. I mean, I think that's what I'm going to do. If that's not something you guys would like to see me do in the future, let me know in the comments so that I can adjust my playstyles, because I feel that this is a worthy thing to try to capture on my recording, is trying to dock without a node, or without a translation support, with strictly engines. I'm shutting off all of my engines here except my center, because I'll have a lower thrust amount there, so like I won't have to worry too much about you know, gathering too much speed too quickly. So that's the idea here. Did I lose my target on there? I did. Okay, so let's reset that and crank speed back up. We're going to try to shoot out in front of it a little bit and bring ourselves to a halt relatively nearby to the front of the fuel tank. Now I've opened up both of my docking ports up front, so we have a couple of options here for how we're going to be able to handle this. Now, I'm definitely going to be using the smart ASS to help with this, because this is going to be very tricky, guys. Let's flip this thing around. As you can see, I set up my other cockpit view here that gives me kind of the relative velocities and distances to target and things like that, so I can keep track of that. I'm also going to target, once I get the ability to see it, the front docking port. There it is. So that's set, and now we basically just have to float on in and do our best to get in here and get docked with that node that's going to be a pain, a super pain to hit. Oh boy, this is, I haven't had to do this in a while. I've done this before. It is not easy. Not easy at all, guys. So if you ever get the chance to not do this, I'm sure you'll be happy to get away with not having to do this. If you're seeing this and you're realizing how frustrating something like this could be, I hope my public service to you would be to drill it into your head to prepare for these scenarios and give your refuelers enough ways to generate electricity. This is not a simple thing to pull off. So as you can see, I'm firing my one center engine very, very slowly. It's cranked up to the first notch here, so that I'm bringing us to a halt quickly. Well, not too quickly is what I mean to say, and accurately at our level with the tank is the idea here. Now, doing this is hard, because if I get too close and I need to readjust, it's nearly impossible to stop our forward velocity, because to do so would require me to point my engines at our refueler, which would in turn blow it further away from us. So this is going to be tricky, guys. Let's see here. So we got 1.1 meters per second delta V currently. I'm gonna pop on our fuel, our thrusters here just for a moment. I am going to try to build some forward velocity here and watch our. I'm trying to watch my closest approach distance here, because if I can gauge that well, we should be able to get some. Get in there, but not too difficult. Like, I don't even know what I'm saying here. I'm trying to focus on making these maneuvers. This is gonna be difficult. I think I'm gonna be passing down this way, so like down to the bottom right here, and away from our refueler. So I need to angle up a little bit, give ourselves a little bit of thrust that direction, while trying to keep our speed not too high. Because our forward velocity is going to be our big killer in this type of a maneuver. Just because of if we're going too fast, I have no solid way to actually slow us down, which makes it very, very difficult to pull off. Trying to get especially an uncentered docking node. This is going to be interesting, guys. I hope you appreciate that I'm showing you this whole process, because if you ever have to do this, take these tips to heart, what I'm trying to pull off here and trying to show you. As little thrust as possible, guys. One single engine is all I'm using here for this huge craft, and very small bursts of energy. And I'm watching my closest approach up here, so I'm watching my relative velocity here to make sure that doesn't get too high. And yeah, you basically have to come in straight at it. Now, when we get in very, very close, we can actually pull some tweaking by rotating our craft to get the docking port near to the actual positioning, which should be good. We'll probably have to do that a little bit. So let's see. We're down to between 6 and 7 meters away from the craft. So I'm gonna time warp just a little bit and bring it on in. We're gonna zoom out and kind of watch this a little bit. Ooh, this is gonna be touchy, guys. I'm a little frightened of doing this, but I think we can get this. I'm pretty positive that we can get this. I think we're gonna hit that left tank, so let's start pointing ourselves toward it. And I'm gonna need to probably rotate just a hair so that we get it lined up. Wow, this is gonna be something, guys. This is gonna be something either really good or really terrible. I have machinery up here as well that could get in the way. So let's see. I'm gonna reposition the camera just a hair so we can keep a better eye on this. That's not half bad, guys. I'm a little surprised. Okay, we're still coming in at a bit of an angle, but that's fine. Let's rotate that up just a little bit more. Rotate up a bit more. Oh, this is that is definitely at an angle. This will be interesting to see. Okay. Whoa. Let's push ourselves to the left just a hair to keep our docking port pointed at it. The idea here, and what I'm hoping to do, is keep this pointing as much as possible flatly against this docking node, but this'll be interesting. We should have a connection here rather quickly. Can we get it? Can we get it? Is it gonna center itself? I'm not turning off my SAS on my craft so that I don't bump into it, but if this thing will rotate into us, I think we're gonna have it okay. My god, we've done it. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna get this refueled, and we're gonna get ready to burn out toward Bop and get this lander all set down, and and get this mission just settled and over with. Okay, we're mostly refueled. We've emptied this tank. I've topped off our RCS tanks with the one that was there, and now we eject that part. Goodbye. Slow ourselves down. That thing's gonna leave us be. Now, I wasn't able to fully refuel our ship. I filled up the interplanetary stage because that's what we're currently using, and it's going to be the most efficient use of our fuel tanks. And I've fueled both of these tanks to mostly full. The reason I didn't fill one and leave the other one is so that it was fairly balanced. This tank is still empty at this point. So I tried to keep it as balanced as possible by evenly filling those two outer ones, because the rest of it's all balanced. So that's a little bit off by a few units, but it's really hard to get an even balance when you're refueling like that. So, we're just going to have to make do with this. My recording's at almost 25 minutes, so I'm going to call it here, guys. And when we come back, we'll be getting out to Bop and landing this rover down on the surface for our Kerbals and finding that dead space Kraken. So stay tuned, come back at us next weekend, and I'll see you then. Cheers!